I get this question a lot because, again, I don't hide the fact that I'm a wrestling fan, and I know you don't either.
There, there's no point of hiding something that you're not. You don't want to be fake. You want to be honest.
Well, not only that, it's like, why should I hide it? Because here's the thing: it's like I I've worked. So my biggest comparison that I tell people all the time is, it's like professional wrestling is as real, if not more so, than as reality television.
Right.
Because reality TV, I hate to burst everyone's bubble, reality TV is fake as hell. None of that stuff, or very rarely, none of that stuff is happening organically. And not a lot of people know this. I worked on a local reality TV show many years ago, and I cannot tell you how shocked I was to find out just how staged it actually is. Like, it's absurd. And professional
Well,
wrestling, by its very nature, cannot be that staged because it involves feats of athleticism, and things can always go wrong.
was this a show that was on TV
Yeah,
like
it was on a,
nationally?
not nationally, it was on the local Fox affiliate in Fort Wayne.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was local, but
Okay. All right.
so anyway, they always ask me, it's like, well, what is it? What's the big deal? And I'm like, I don't. I mean, okay, you like, most people like Fast and the Furious franchise, right? Like, you like watching Fast and the Furious movies.
I mean,
As an example.
okay. I did at the beginning, but over time it just lost its luster, I think. And I know people will disagree with me on this, but I think the only reason why that it's became bigger and more of a phenomenon than ever is because of The Rock.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. But my
Well,
point
some people,
being, it's like in these movies, they routinely do stunts that quite literally are not possible physically. But
because of cost and everything, right? Yes, I,
yeah,
I agree.
but I mean, but that's cool. And pro wrestling's lame. Like, here's the thing: when Ricochet does, what is it, a 630?
Yes,
He does a 630. He's actually doing it unassisted, and he can do it on command.
right.
When trying to think of another really really good one. When Matt Sydal does the shooting star press, he does it on demand every time and can do it safely. You
Unlike Kevin.
know. Well, we're not going
I'm
to comment.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Hey, Brock Lesnar did one once.
Yeah, but he landed on his head.
Yeah, yes, he did, and that shows what a freak of nature he is, that he did not die.
But when Kevin did it, he actually need somebody in the head.
Yeah,
But
beside the
that's
point.
right. That's what I'm saying. It's neither here nor there. But that,
Uh,
that right there should show it's not fake.
no, not at all. And if you've ever seen an injury happen, and I think anyone who's a wrestling fan for more than a year has seen a legitimate injury happen. And sometimes they do a really good job in a match where you're like, oh, is that legit? Or because sometimes you can tell work when it's a
Right.
work injury, but sometimes somebody lands wrong and you're just like, oh shit. I think a really good example, and probably my favorite one to point out, was trying to remember.
Guy or
It was.
girl?
Oh, go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead.
No, I said it was a guy or girl.
No, no, no. I'm trying to remember one. It was in New Japan. It was Dragon Lee versus Hiromu Takahashi.
Okay.
And Dragon Lee does, I believe it was a fisherman suplex. I can't remember, but he did some kind of suplex. And anyway, Hiromu lands wrong on his head, but you couldn't. It didn't look that bad, but just the way his head kind of like scooted against the mat when he landed, and I saw that, and I thought to myself, I was like, ooh, that didn't look right.
See, not trying to cut you off because I actually thought of a Japan one myself. Um, it was it had Will Ospreay in it, and I would say that because it's Will Ospreay and he can do all kinds of the flips and everything else. I don't remember who he was wrestling, but I remember I think he was doing a shooting star press. And I think when he did it, though, when he landed, his head grazed that side mat.
I know which match you're talking about. I don't remember who it was against though. Maybe it was it Kushida? I think it might have been Kushida
Actually, I think it probably was.
because it was for the junior heavyweight title. And
I think
I watched that one too, and I was just like, ooh.
As I said, I could be wrong. I think it was, but like, yeah, when he, I think he's on the top rope, or he's just even on the. No, he's on the top rope. He's on the side of the ring, and when he runs and he does his head hits the thing. I'm like, but he still flips it. His head still grazes.
Like, I know that match, but yeah, that was. I'm shocked he wasn't injured after that. Like, because that looked rough. I'm sure that smarted quite a bit. But going back to the Takahashi Dragon Lee match, he finished the match, and I was like, okay, maybe he's good. It looked like it just hurt a lot. Nope, completely. He was out for a year, and apparently they took him to the hospital immediately. And apparently they said he was lucky he didn't die. Like, insane, just 1 in a million shot. And not only did he not die, he came back a year later and is, as far as I can tell, he's fine.
Right.
Like, he's wrestling at the same level he was. I was shocked when he came back and he had another match with Dragon Lee and it was the same intensity as before. I mean, it was crazy.